Hey folks, welcome back to GP Reactions. I hope you're having a great day and I hope you've had a great Christmas as well. And obviously we're now kind of in between Christmas and New Year, so if I don't say before, I hope you have a great New Year's New Year's celebrations, and I hope 2023 brings something fantastically positive for you. And 2022 has sucked a little bit, personally speaking. But you know, as an individual, I can only look at myself in a mirror and try and improve on what I did before, the day before. So I'm always full of positivity this time of year, more so because you know, the nights will get lighter, the mornings take a little longer, but hopefully the shortest day has passed and I can now look forward to the summer again. In saying that, I've got to shift a lot of weight because I always set out good intentions at Christmas. I always sit down. Then what happens is people start gifting me cakes and pastries and stuff, and you know, I can't say no to that kind of thing. But yeah, definitely, I'm one of these people that kind of make New Year's resolutions about things, and hopefully I'll try and keep it for more than about 2 weeks. Especially where my weight's concerned, I do need to lose a little bit of weight. Anyway, that said, I'm really happy to be back reacting, and this is a track I haven't heard. It's from Ultravox. It's taken from their Vienna album from July 1980, and this is called New Europeans. Looks like it's written by Midjure and somebody called Chris Thomas Allen, and the only name I've got that's remotely like that is Chris Cross, who's on bass and synths. We have Warren Can on drums, electronic percussion and backing vocals, Billy Curry on piano and synths, and viola and violin, Midjure on guitars and synths, and of course lead vocals. So this is an audio version only. I was looking for a good quality live version, but wasn't able to immediately find one, so I thought it'd be nice to actually just listen to the audio version and see what it has to offer. So without further ado, this is Ultravox with the New Europeans. Oh, I didn't expect that. I've got to be honest, I apologise for pausing it there, but I didn't expect it to start like that. I've heard a lot of Ultravox songs in the past, and I didn't expect it to start with a guitar and then that really great bass. But it's nice. It's variety, and I can hear the synths there coming in, and obviously Midjure's voice it kind of like rises above everything else. It feels very dramatic whenever he sings. So again, sorry for pausing it there. I just wanted to kind of get those thoughts out. Let me just take that back a little bit. Her eyes belong to Oh, super great. Love it.
On a crowded beach, washed by the sun, he puts his headphones on. His modern world revolves around the synthesizer's song. Pull up your jukebox and drills, his senses slip away. He's a European legacy, a culture for today.
Well, that ended suddenly. I was just writing some notes. I do apologise. I wasn't being distracted. Um, I just want to get my thoughts out straight away about this song. I loved the way it started. It felt very. It kind of felt like more 70s with like that chopping guitar, and then you had the bass, and these are all the kind of things you'd expect that you wouldn't expect maybe from an Ultravox record. And as the song kind of progressed towards the end, the synths came in more, the piano came in more. It felt more metallic, which is a kind of crazy thing to say, really, because you've got the guitars. Guitars are obviously electric, but it kind of felt a little bit more metallic as the song progressed, and I think that was purposely done. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud here. I got the impression that the lyrics were, I mean, according to Europeans, I think we entered the common market I think it was 1972 or something like that, or 1973. It might have been a bit later, but clearly, talking about 1980, it's only 7 years later, and I think this was a generational shift throughout this song. Was from the father, I think, who has maybe he's got the wealth and all the trappings of wealth, and he's got everything he needs, but the world is kind of, it's passing him by, only because it's a technological thing. It might be a political thing. The world he knows is maybe back in the 60s and the beginning of the 70s, and now we're going into the age of technology, computers, keyboards, and he's a little bit bemused by it. I get a feeling as well from the song that maybe his wife isn't there, but his son is there. He doesn't understand his son. Kind of sees that it's like a little bit vacuous, and he sees his son as the European generation, which is being part of a political union of the European Union, and maybe comes a more socially inclusive European Union. I mean, I was very, very small back then in the 70s and even in 1980, and I didn't really I wouldn't have known anything about how people felt about Europe and being part of Europe, and also being politically and socially part of Europe now. I think there's a big difference between being a country in Europe and being part of an overarching organisation, an overarching body. So yeah, from that I found it really interesting that the song was like felt old school to begin with, and it moved through its generational barriers to like the synths at the end. Um, yeah, I gonna have a quick look at lyrics. I think. So what's the lyrics say? I mean, I might be completely wrong on my perspective. I think what I've learned from a couple of the Ultravox songs that I listen to is that sometimes they're just abstract ideas. So possibly reading too much into it, but there were certain things I picked up in this that made me go down that rabbit hole or that train of thought that I felt I understood from listening to the lyrics. So here we are in a quiet street, in a quiet street, washed by the rain, the room within the home. A lonely man sits cheek to cheek with unique designs in chrome. So there's like a modern element there. The mellow years have long gone by, but now he sits alone. He has a brand new radio, but he never turns it on. So he has the trappings of wealth. He has gadgets, and they're more for show, to show status than they are as items of functional interactive equipment that he can actually use. And I'm sure he knows how to turn a radio on, but at the same time, turning a radio on would thrust him into probably a world of modern music as well as the music that he loves. And it's I feel that he's not taking the risk at this point in his life to engage with all the trappings of a modern technological world. Just my thought. New Europeans, young New Europeans, New Europeans. A photograph of lovers lost lies pressed in magazines. Her eyes belong to 1,000 girls. She's the wife who's never seen. So does that mean that his wife is there, but she's maybe not? I really, this is a bit I found quite abstract. When I heard that line, I thought, is he is she dead? Is she has she left him? But I think that's maybe just going off on the wrong path there. The educated son has left in search of borrowed dreams. His television's in his bed. He's frozen to the screen. So I get the feeling from that he hasn't actually left, but he's just absorbed with watching television. I can't think, but they're quite extravagant if they had a portable television in his bedroom, and just maybe I'm reading that too literally. But perhaps it's that the lines of communication between father and son have been eroded by technology, and I guess it's very relevant to this day and age where kids will be on their mobile phones. In fact, most adults are on their mobile phones now, and you tend to be more engaged with what you're reading and what you're watching than real life. And sometimes I find that after coming off I don't know, maybe I'm looking at something on the internet, I don't feel like talking to the friend who's actually sat 3 foot away from me. And I find that really irritating for her to have to put up with that. It's and for any friend to have to put up with that, but it's almost like you can't help yourself. You'd rather engage with, or just engage with a technology in your hand than actually a human, organic person, if you know what I mean. So I feel that's a communicative issue between father and son. On a crowded beach washed by the sun, he puts his headphones on. His modern world revolves around a synthesizer song full of future thoughts and thrills. His senses slip away. His European legacy, a culture for today. I think it's a bit of a cynical view. Maybe that's how his father perceives his son is, based on purely just observing him maybe once or twice. You know, maybe the son is a passive recipient of tomorrow's technology, and rather than the interactive father figure who would interact with of the people around him, and technology was something to get your hands on. But now it's kind of getting more passive, maybe. That's just my thoughts anyway. I'm just going off on a tangent there, but this is a really, really cool song. The bass was great. That was crisscross at the very beginning. That's the first thing I kind of noticed after the immediate electric guitars. And yeah, for sure, Mijua's voice was always fantastic. There's not a lot else I can really say about this song. It felt very established. I'm trying to think, actually, I did glance that on this album, obviously being called Vienna, the title track Vienna, and also All Stood Still at the end of the album. I think I've reacted to All Stood Still. That was a great track. I think it was about nuclear war and stuff, I felt. But this is really cool anyway. Very technologically based track, I think. So guys, let me know what you think. Join me in the comments below. And if you remember this from when it came out, what do you think they were trying to say back in 1980 during this record? What's your interpretations of it? And yeah, that's literally about it. So have a great New Year's Eve. Have a great 2023. I'm sure I'll have more reactions for you before then. So yeah, take care of yourselves.